So Arsenal through to the FA Cup semi-final for a 29th time. They've just about done it here in a strange game at Bramall Lane. I think they're just about deserving winners, but they did their best to throw it away in true Arsenal style. It's finished 2-1, as I'm sure you're all aware. Goals from Nicolas Pepe and Dani Ceballos. Ceballos' goal coming deep into injury time to win it for Arsenal in real dramatic fashion. It came just a few minutes after David McGoldrick had equalised for Sheffield United. Pepe's goal in the first half coming from the penalty spot, it looked for so long like that was going to be the winner, and then Arsenal, as usual with Arsenal, they never do it the easy way, did their best to hand the game back to Sheffield United. 87 minutes, really poor from a long throw in just over there. I think it was Kolasinac tried to cleared it straight into Rob Holding. The ball just popped up to David McGoldrick in the 6-yard box, who tapped it in to make it 1-1. At that point, it looked like Sheffield United were probably, you'd say they were the favourites to go on and win the game. They were pressing, Arsenal looked nervy, they looked tired. But in injury time, they broke forward on the counter-attack and got the win. Dani Ceballos, really smart finish from a tight angle after some good play from Eddie Nketiah and Bukayo Saka. And great celebrations after the goal for Ceballos and for Arsenal, and for Mikel Arteta as well. He's now taken Arsenal to the semi-finals in his first season in charge at the club. A 29th FA Cup semi-final for Arsenal. That will be next month in July. We don't know who they'll get yet. Manchester United already in there after their victory last night at Norwich. And just sort of following on from the game against Southampton in midweek, it was really good for Arsenal. Not the easiest, it wasn't pretty, similar to the game at Southampton really, but they got the job done in the end. So I thought I'd just pop on now and do what I did after the Southampton game, go through my player ratings for you. I'm sure all to disagree with, as is always the way with player ratings, but I'll start with Emi Martinez in goal again for Arsenal. I thought it was really solid, just like he was at Southampton. A couple of really good smart stops, one really important one actually just after the equaliser when he denied, I think it was Billy Sharp, really smart low down saves, low downs to his right. Had that gone in, Sheffield United would have been in the semi-finals, but it wasn't, and just a couple of minutes later Arsenal broke forward and got the decisive goal from Ceballos. A really smart save from Martinez. Again, his distribution was really good. There's one excellent pass in the first half that led to a chance for Pepe. And just another positive game for Martinez. Fair play to him. He's come in really, and Arsenal haven't really missed Bernd Leno, and I think that's the biggest praise you can give Emi Martinez so far. Mustafi was playing as part of the back three. I thought it was a little bit nervy early on. I'll give him a 6, I think. I'm not sure if I gave Martinez a rating, but I'll give Martinez a 7 anyway. Back onto Mustafi, I'll give him a 6. I thought, like I said, he was a little bit nervy early on. Slightly better in the second half, but I thought it was a little bit nervy early on. I'll give him a 6. David Luiz, I give a 6 as well. I actually thought he was doing all right, Luiz, but he went off injured, unfortunately, in the second half. But I think up to that point, he was probably Arsenal's best defender. He made a couple of really good clearances. Considering it was his first game back and the spotlight was on him after what happened in the game against Manchester City, I thought he did all right. So I'm going to give David Luiz a 6. Kolasinac, give a 5. Started off all right, started getting it going. Just looking a little bit dodgy in the second half as the pressure sort of increased in Sheffield United, and it was his error that gifted the equaliser as well. So I'm going to give Kolasinac a 5. Maitland-Niles back in the side at right wing back. I thought he played well. A couple of typical Maitland-Niles moments where he really sort of switched off at times, especially in the second half. But going forward, I thought he offered a bit of a threat. Much more mobile than we've seen from Hector Bellerin in recent weeks at right wing back. So I'm going to give Maitland-Niles a 6. I thought he linked up pretty well with Nicolas Pepe as well, certainly in the first half. Kieran Tierney, left wing back, thought he was excellent. Really positive from Tierney once again, just like it was last time we saw him. I'm going to give him an 8. Kieran Tierney, I thought he was right up there with Arsenal's standout player in this one, and really positive signs from Tierney after coming back from that long injury layoff, coming back after the restart, that we're beginning to see exactly why Arsenal invested so heavily to bring him to the club in the summer. Granit Xhaka, I'm going to give a 7. I thought he was fairly solid. There was a couple of times he got turned a little bit easily, and then with Xhaka, once he has been turned, he struggles to sort of get back because he's not the most mobile, but I thought he was pretty solid throughout, so I'm going to give Granit a 7. Joe Willock, I'm going to give a 6 next to Granit. I thought his touch was a little bit off at times, but his movement and his energy, it did open up a lot of space, especially in the first half when Arsenal were on top. I thought Pepe benefited quite a lot from the running that Willock was doing and drawing defenders away, and that was giving Pepe some pace. So I'm going to give Willock a 6. Pepe, man of the match for me, going to give him an 8. I thought, especially in the first half, he was excellent. Every time he got on the ball, he caused Sheffield United all sorts of problems. He scored the penalty, forced Henderson into one really good save, and had another chance which he put just wide. Should have scored, really. Probably the only disappointment of that first half for him. Faded a little bit in the second half, but was always a threat on the counter-attack. for me. So I thought it was a really good showing from Nicolas Pepe. And we spoke to Mikel Arteta after the game, and he was glowing in his praise for Pepe. He says that something's clicked in him. He says defensively as well as offensively, he's really beginning to look the sort of player and show why Arsenal invested so heavily in him in the summer. So Pepe, man of the match for me, giving him an 8. Lacazette, give him a 6. He won the penalty, but other than that, it was a bit of a sluggish game again from Lacazette. He was replaced in the second half by Eddie Nketiah. He looked frustrated when he went off, and I'm not surprised. So 6 for Lacazette, and then Saka finally completing the starting 11. I'm going to give a 7. Really good play in the build-up for Ceballos' winning goal from Saka. Just continues to impress no matter what position he's playing. Just what a talent he is. Arsenal have got to get him signed up to that long-term contract. Subs, I'm going to give Rob Holding a 5. He came on, he was involved in the equaliser. It was a bit unfortunate, really. It was Kolasinac who just cleared it straight into him. So I can't really put too much blame on him, but I thought it was a little bit nervy, a little bit perhaps sluggish, not up to the speed. I mean, he was great at Southampton, didn't really get into the game when he came on here, just didn't look up to the speed. So I'll give him a 5. Ceballos, I'm going to give a 7. I mean, he didn't do too much, but I'm going to give him a 7 anyway, because he made scored the all-important winner. Really smart finish from a tight angle as well. Lovely little touch to open up the opportunity to get the shot in as well. So 7 for Ceballos. Nketiah was involved in the goal, in Ceballos' goal. It was his pass that gave the ball to Pepe in the build-up to it before Ceballos got on the ball. So I'm going to give Nketiah a 6. As Socrates came on literally for the last couple of minutes, so I can't really give him a rating, but I'll just give him a 5 just because he was on the pitch, and I can't really give him anything else. So they're my ratings from this win for Arsenal here at Bramall Lane. Victory 2-1 for Mikel Arteta's side. Really ground it out. Dramatic at the end, but they've got the job done, and Arsenal next month will be heading to Wembley.